hawks and instability in northern Nigeria are pushing hunger to unprecedented level, with thousands facing famine-like conditions, the World Food Programme (WFP) said on Tuesday. Nearly 35 million people in northern Nigeria are projected to face severe food insecurity during the 2026 lean season, which stretches from May to September, the UN agency said in a statement. In Borno State, the epicenter of the 16-year-long jihadist insurgency, around 15,000 people are projected to reach catastrophic hunger or famine-like conditions, WFP said in a statement. The conflict has killed more than 40,000 people and displaced around 2 million others in the northeast and spilled into neighboring countries. Besides Boko Haram in the northeast, Nigeria also suffers violence led by bandit gangs in the center and northwest, which raid villages, kill people, and kidnap for ransom. Last week alone, Africa's most populous country experienced 3 mass kidnappings. More than 300 students and teachers from a Catholic church were abducted in Niger State. 25 Muslim high school girls were snatched in neighboring Kebbi State, and 38 worshippers were taken from a church during a service that was live streamed in Kwara State. While Nigeria's insurgency has shown slowed since violence peaked around 2015, attacks have picked up since the beginning of the year due to a myriad of factors that have seen jihadist groups strengthen and security forces stretched thin. And now to politics, where former Vice President Atiku has officially joined the coalition party, the African Democratic Party (ADC), just 17 months to the 2027 general elections. The 78-year-old politician disclosed this in a short post on his official X handle on Monday, attaching pictures of him holding the party's membership card with the brief caption, "It's official." Prior to him joining the coalition, the former VP had been a high-profile member of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). He, however, resigned from the opposition party in July 16, citing irreconcilable differences that have emerged within the former ruling party. Atiku explained that they found it necessary to part ways due to the current trajectory the party has taken, which, according to him, diverges from the fundamental principles it stood for. Though Atiku in July led the adoption of the ADC as the coalition platform for opposition figures to challenge President Bola Tinubu in 2027, he and other prominent opposition figures such as Peter Obi and Babachir Lawal had delayed their formal registration within the party. Atiku and some other coalition leaders were conspicuously absent at the unveiling of the ADC National Secretariat in the Wuse area of Abuja. Their absence had fueled speculation, suggesting the unseriousness of the coalition leaders to sack the All Progressives Congress (APC) in the next general elections. The opposition coalition officially adopted the ADC as its official platform and political platform on July 2, 2025 to contest the presidential and other elections in 2027. The coalition said it was set to rescue the country from collapse and rebuild its democracy. Meanwhile, the senator representing Edo North, Adams Oshomole, has taken a swipe at former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for joining the ADC, says he lacks the capacity to fix Nigeria. Answering questions from Sheun Okinbaloye on television, the ex-Edo State governor mocked Atiku. He claimed the former VP's long struggle to stabilize the People's Democratic Party (PDP) weakens his claim that he can turn the country around. According to the former All Progressives Congress (APC) national chairman, Atiku had not shown the capacity to provide direction within the PDP despite his long-standing influence in the party. The senator also recalled Atiku's exit from the APC, saying the former vice president only left the ruling party because he failed to clinch its presidential ticket. During the show, Oshomole criticized former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amici, accusing him of poor judgment and misplaced priorities during his tenure in office. Take a listen.
It's completely empty. Check the record. How did he become governor of Rivers State? It was purely the creation of the Supreme Court. the very court that he sought to disgrace, to disrespect, and to shut down the Rivers State judiciary. He was a stranger to ballot.
It seems you to underestimate. We are underrating and underestimating that coalition.
Which election has he ever won? No, in 2015. In 2015.
But he helped Buhari to win election.
Wait, he did it. In 2015.
Director General.
Let me give you the facts. Director General. That is what makes it even more painful. He was Director General in 2015. He didn't even vote for Buhari because he unwisely see that he was being overwhelmed by Governor Wike's forces. He ordered his followers to boycott the election. So he himself didn't vote for Buhari, even though he ended up as a minister for 8 years. He did not vote. He was the DJ of the campaign. He didn't vote. Check the records. That's why I say you should also educate the people. This is a DJ of a campaign who sensing defeat from Rivers State thought that it would be more convenient to say, I boycott the election. Which reasonable politician boycott election when you know that you're boycotting, they will stop the process? But he did. So he didn't vote for Buhari in 2015.
But Buhari see bringing
if you hear the record, he's a smuggler. He asked those who know how he got Buhari to sign a paper for him. They went for governor's meeting. He came out and he said he got Buhari to sign something for him. He took advantage of the little you know about Buhari and he got that. But the issue for me is that a man who was a DG of a campaign and he did not vote in the election.
Can you take the credit away from the likes of Rotimi Amechi? There are just a few elements in the APC.
You list the qualities of his accomplishment, what he has accomplished.
No, we know that.
As I've just told you, he's first being governor. He's first being governor, and he comes to my clan virtually my local government every now and then, because he said it was the pastor who prophesied that he will become governor, even though he was not on the ballot. The Supreme Court has still changed that position anyway. They just dash him that governorship for reasons best known to the Supreme Court at the time. But look at the way he replied. So what does he accomplish?
Away from politics now to education matters, where the National Executive Council (NEC) of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) will meet on Wednesday to decide the union's next line of action following the conclusion of renegotiations undertaken by the Yale Ahmed-led committee set up by the federal government. In a last-minute effort to avert a fresh ASU strike, the government's renegotiation team reconvened talks with the union on Monday. The meeting, which began yesterday, is expected to formally conclude today, Tuesday, according to a senior ASU NEC member who spoke on condition of anonymity due to restrictions placed on media engagement during the negotiation process. ASU's one-month ultimatum to the federal government elapsed on Saturday, heightening anxiety across public universities. The union has repeatedly threatened a full-scale strike, accusing the government of a nonchalant attitude towards its long-standing demands. The demands include the review of the 2009 ASU federal government agreement, payment of outstanding salaries and earned allowances, and the release of funds for university revitalization. Despite these grievances, the Minister of Education Tunji Alausa, who is currently out of the country, insists that the government has met the union's demands. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has declared its support for ASU, warning that it will fight alongside the academic community if the government fails to address the union's demands. A newly released fact sheet by the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) has indicated that only an average of 5,506 megawatts of installed capacity of 13,625 megawatts electricity was distributed to electricity consumers by utility firms in October this year. According to the electricity market regulator, this translated to about just 40% power plant availability in the month under review. The month's performance was driven largely by the top 10 energy producers, which together accounted for about 80% of total generation. The list was dominated by major hydro and gas-fired plants such as Egbe, Delta, Kainji, Shiroro, Okpai, Geregu and Ihovo. Despite the shortfall in electricity distribution, it still represented a marginal 2% improvement from September. Despite having 5,506 megawatts available, on average, the industry generated only about 4,290 megawatt hours per hour during the month under consideration. This translated to an average load factor of 78%, which NERC noted was unchanged from September, underscoring the chronic challenges besetting Nigeria's power sector. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll go straight to our news analysis segment where we have Elvis Elimehili, political and public affairs analyst. Mr. Ehimehili, thank you very much for joining us on the news. I hope I'm not murdering the names too much. I'll get it in time.
Yeah, you're trying. It's Elimehili.
Elimehili.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go straight to the first topic for discussion, which is obviously the insecurity situation that have not, if anything, they've gone from bad to worse.
Yes.
And the president of spoken several times on the need for state police, saying he will try his best as much as possible to give the approval and to speed up the time limit and time stamp for state police. But I wonder 2 years into his administration, what we keep seeing is lip service. I'll speed up the timeline. Speed up the timeline. Is anything, this is the best time, especially now that we are at the peak of insecurity in Nigeria again, for them to quickly do something for state police? Well, why do you think, why the delay, do you think?
Solomon, that's the problem with democracy. Democracy has its good and it has its ugly side as well. You see, nothing say through in a democratic government without going through the appropriate channel, because this is an agency that is going to be an act of law. It's going to be backed up by all the laws that are required, necessarily required. So the first thing is the executive have actually sent that bill to the House. That's the Rep and the Senate. Then it will go through all the rudiment of debate and procedure and all that. Then the next thing, they now call for what they call a public opinion and all that. Then before you know, you now say, okay, it is now the time for all the 36 houses of assembly in all the states have to also have a two-third majority to actually support what they have, whether the National Assembly, that's the Senate and Rep, has actually approved it too. So when you look at all these processes, it takes time. First reading, second reading, third reading, then calling for public opinion and all this. I think that's part of what is delaying the state police matter. But
we also know for every rule there are exceptions, and these are exceptional cases. That's one. Two, we keep complaining about our rubber stamp National Assembly, how they've become an apron to executives. I mean, this is the right time that should be.
Yes, that actually depends on the way it swings. If it swings the way that the government believe that this is what we need, you know what they did to national anthem when they changed the national anthem. Within 24 hours, we got a new national anthem. Exactly. So we are talking about this state police right here in the south. Is it the same way they are also believing in it in the northern part of Nigeria?
Despite the fact that the insecurity
these
is
are the
way
issues.
more
These are the issues, Solomon, because when it comes to the fact that the man that stole your property is assisting you to look for it, You know what that means? You will never get it. So if we are crying of this insecurity right here in the south, and we see how, the devastating nature of it, as in to Nigerians and Nigeria economy, is it the same way our brothers in the north are actually saying it? I keep telling you that this insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, who is in the north knows the genesis of this insecurity. And if they want it ended today, they can do it. Look at what is going on. We saw the children that were adopted in the Kebbi State, from Kebbi State, the manga school.
Yes.
We saw the Papiri now in the Niger State again. Look at, do you know what it takes the logistics state to move 300 or 200 and something puppy from their bed at night into the forest? Do you know the logistics?
Yeah.
Do you know how many vehicles would have moved those children? Do you know
and when you also consider there are lots of security checks,
a lot of security, then you look at, do you move 200 and something children, or even whether children or adults, that people will not know that some persons are passing through a route? Can you hide them? Do you look at even to get water, ordinary pure water, for 200 and something? Solomon.
There's even a breaking news now, because as we're talking, I'm also monitoring stories. There is even a breaking news now that bandits have struck the Sakwa community of Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, abducting 11 residents. That's
the same Ekiti where the Eruku have just been rescued. Eruku is in Ekiti local government. Another one has just taken place.
The government numbering more than 20 stoned the community with a large herd of cattle, firing shots indiscriminately. 20, and then together with the herds of cattle.
And you can imagine that this is daytime. So when you look at all this shenanigans around the insecurity in Nigeria, you see it calls for questioning. Because you don't just, how do you move people? You for instance, if you are a family man, you know what it takes you to even travel with your children, maybe 3 or 4 children with your wife. Then you are not talking of moving 200 into the forest. They are fed, they are kept. Where do they keep them? Do they keep them in open bush? These children probably they have a kind of accommodation right in the bush there where they are kept. Then these children have to be fed.
And the bush is in its Nigeria.
Yes, in this Nigeria. This same Nigeria where you and I have been told, go and register your GSM before NIN and all that before you can make call. But these people make call, they do video and send it for us to see. Where is the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy? Where are they? Those people that made us to go and start registering our...
Where is the DSS? Where is the NSA?
Where is the DSS? Let's start from there. You see, at the end of the day, you just discover that everything we are talking about this insecurity, it's like child's play. Are we really serious? Are we a bundle of nations that actually want to end this insecurity? Have this insecurity not been kind of mechanized now that people are now feeding from it and it will not stop? These people we are told that they ride motorcycles. These motorcycles are bought and brought into this nation. This same nation, these motorcycles are fuel every day.
They are registered with registration number.
These motorcycles are even serviced. Sometimes it may have fault. Who are the people that are involved in all this? Have we asked ourselves, do these people actually want this thing to end? So it calls for a big question. So those are some of the reasons why you see this delay even in the state police is coming. If the people you want them to fast track it are not interested, will it say true? It will not. So it is like we are crying. Some of us are crying that Nigerians are being herded into the bush daily and made to suffer untold hardship as a result of the failure of government. But the other side are not seeing it the way we are seeing it, because some people are benefiting from it.
Now, the related story, but according to United Nations new report, Nigeria are pushing hunger at unprecedented level, with thousands facing famine-like conditions. That's according to World Food Program. They said nearly 35 million people in Northeast are projected to face severe food insecurity during the 2026 lean season.
Yes,
and we also coming at a time where the president have talked a lot about food security and food sustainability. We know part of the economic situation in this country is because of lack of food. Obviously, the floating of the naira was one. Fuel subsidy removal was another, but another one is because of the insecurity coming from the north and the north central, where most of our food, it's coming from.
Yeah.
Our farmers can't go to farm because of insecurity. Fulani herdsmen have ransacked a lot of these farming villages. Let's also talk about the terrible road, where the few ones that are even able to produce this food, transporting it to this part of the country has been a huge chore.
Yeah.
Because of the bad road. So when you read reports like this from the Well Food Program, it's beginning to sound like, okay, this looks like it's a true report, a true reflection of what's going
true,
on.
Solomon. Let's take it one after the other. First of all, since 16 years now, this nation has been on this insecurity matter. It gets worse daily. Just like, but 5 days ago, we heard that some women were kidnapped in Borno State in their farm where they were harvesting their crops. Then you can imagine what will happen to that farm now. It's going to be deserted. Those were the ones that even managed to go to farm and plant at the planting season, and they cannot harvest now. That farm is going to be deserted. Then imagine those that are in IDP camp who were very resourceful, having farmland before now, using it as means of livelihood to take care of themselves and their family. Today they are in IDP camp. They are now being fed in IDP camp by through palliatives and all that. We don't want to be part of those that will take this nation out of food insecurity. Then look at the sacking of villages from Plateau to Benue and to Niger and all that. The sacking of villages by Fulani herdsmen. The predominantly that north central that's the farming zone.
From Benue State to Kogi State.
Even pride itself as the food basket of the nation. To tell you the tons of food.
And it wasn't just name. It was also
name. They were actually
practice.
living up to the name. But today they are in IDP camp. So why will you not have food insecurity? Then bring it down to when you are talking about even those of us that are managing to say, okay, we want to go to the farm. I have farm. I'm a farmer. Unfortunately, before you go to farm, even in my own side, I'm not from the north. I'm from the south. You have to begin to first of all seek information whether that day is cleared enough for you to go to the farm. Then you manage to do this farming. Solomon, no road to bring out your crops. I tell you, some of my harvest, if I open my phone, you see some of my harvest. By the time I bring out a pickup or truckload of probably cassava to the farm, the 70-80% of what I'm going to sell is already taken by the transport people. Then when I finish selling, I have to pay my labor. What is my gain? So all these ones are things that the government should put into position. Secure the farm. Let farmers have access to fertilizer and farm implement, modern ones. Then give them high yield.
I mean, according to the federal government, a lot of their report, they've actually been saying this, but what's the use of providing fertilizers to farmers if they can't even go to farm?
Those ones they are talking about, they turn into empowerment, Solomon. They don't give the real farmers. The politicians have turned it to empowerment. They bring it to their constituency and share it to fellow politicians whom they know
to their supporters
and know that they are going to use them in the next election. The real farmers don't get these things. I know how much I spent to buy fertilizer this year alone. You understand what I'm telling you? These farm roads, even ordinary earth roads, for government to even support farmer to grade it so that it can be motorable, that if the transport fare can reduce a little bit for farmers to move out their produce to the market, they are not done. In this nation, during IBB's regime, we had what we call DFRI, Directorate for Food, Road and Rural Infrastructure. IBB brought up that policy then, that it was opening up earth roads to farms so that farmers can bring out their produce.
And that was in the military regime.
That was in the military regime. Today it has been abandoned. Why don't you look at policies that favor the people, even if it's from military or even from an opposition? When you are a government, you toss it and say, no, let me continue with this. This one favors the people. When Adesina was the Minister of Agriculture during Jonathan's regime, we have what we call fertilizer revolution, that that farmers get their own fertilizer allocation even from their own phone. You get your allocation. There's no middleman again that will now collect it from government and now turn it to make millions.
Business
You get it directly. Additional did that. Today, why is this present government not continuing with that? That I could get allocation from government for my fertilizer, I pay to government directly and move it to my farm and use. But now it goes from one politician to the another, to world leaders, world head of wars and all that, with their supporters, and it turn into empowerment. It gets to only those ones that will not even use it. And at the end of the day, they give it to them. They're going to be selling that as much as 70,000 naira a bag, 65,000. How much will you make out of that farm to buy that fertilizer for you to be able to empower your crop? And so the food security, the government is paying lip service to it. They told us about what the one they said they are setting up forest guard that will be able to secure farmers and farmland. What is delaying it? We don't know. Because there's insecurity, people don't go to farm. We'll be hearing forest guard, we'll be hearing state police, we'll be hearing all sorts of manner of propaganda from the government. Which of them have actually said true? That's actually doing the bidding of you and I. None of them you can make mention of. So the food insecurity that is being mentioned there by World Food Program is actually correct, because if we continue from where you are now, it's even going to, because it's going to be worse next year, because the insecurity this year has been so high that people did not go to farm, and when it is time for harvest, by this time next year you don't have anything to put in the market. You and I will find something lacking on our tables. That's where we are getting close to.
Okay, from insecurity, let's go to party politics, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has officially joined the ADC. Well, what's your thought on that?
Well, in our sister station this morning, Solomon, I am not really seeing anything too flamboyant about it. There's nothing to be celebrated here. Congratulations to him. He has been second. He was the second person in this nation. Command as in
for 8 years.
For 8 years as vice president. Then he left PDP, who gave him that position to get to that level. And now today we are just like a 90 years old man who is now just celebrating a baby that is just born today. Is he even going to be alive to take care of that baby? You're already 90 years. Your wife just put to bed today, and that's the one you are not like you have never had children before. This man there's nothing new about what he's just doing. If I'm 90 years and I give birth to a new baby today, Solomon, I'm already leaving work for my children. The other ones I managed to train, that this is going to be their own responsibility. That's what you are just saying there. There's nothing new about Atiku picking up official card of ADC. He has been vice president. Atiku has left in 2007. Remember, he went to ACN to go and contest for presidency of this nation under the leadership of the present president, Ahmed Tinubu. Then he left there again and came back to and went to APC and joined them to form APC. In 2015, when he did not get the ticket of APC,
he left.
And Buhari got the ticket, he left APC again. He went into 2019, he went into PDP and got the ticket of PDP to contest as president of this nation. He failed. Again in 2023, he got the ticket of PDP. Now only in Nigeria, now market. Is it market? Are we trading rappers?
But that's the kind of politics we play in Nigeria.
No. I'm not seeing anything to be celebrated. You know what? If they are coming as individuals, to confront APC, they will miss it. If they are able to stabilize the ADC, let politicians find a way to stabilize Labour and stabilize SDP. Let there be a bigger conglomerate, a bigger coalition. Do you understand what I'm saying? If to confront APC in 2027, if Atiku is joining ADC, everybody is celebrating it, forget about it. If it's individual politicians that is going to do it, APC will have a smooth ride.
But is that not what ADC is doing? Where a lot of politicians
what are they doing? These are individuals. Where are they coming from? 90% of the people you are celebrating in ADC, they left PDP. They have killed PDP. They've killed PDP that gave them power to get to where they are, that gave them that name. Gave them that name. He won the governorship of his state, Adamawa, before he was brought in to come and becomes running mate to Obasanjo in 1999.
Now, but several political analysts have said, love him or hate him, Atiku is probably the only person that can match Bola Ahmed Tinubu in terms of political weights, the fact that they've both been politicians for a very long time, and also financial might. No other politician in Nigeria can challenge APC and Bola Tinubu in terms of the financial might. Peter Obi, despite all the clouds he's having and the huge followership, he doesn't have that money, and well, he's not a poor man, but he's not also the kind of politicians that can play the kind of money politics that we play in Nigeria, which leaves Atiku as the only person that can do that. And also, if we look at the ADC, it's been touted an Atiku coalition, and if what we've been seeing, the projection we've been seeing is anything to go by, he's most likely going to clinch the ADC presidential ticket ahead of Peter Obi. So what can anyone do?
Yeah, that's where you are driving it home now, Solomon. You see, if he is being celebrated because he has gotten a party again under his kit and king to contest for 2027 general election, he's missing it. We need more coalition, stable political parties. The PDP he left, let them find a way to put PDP in order and find a way to see how, if they really want to. When APC was coming up, we saw part of PDP, they call it MPDP. We saw CPC. We saw a part of AMPP. We saw AMPP. All this one came together to form the present APC that we have today. Then why can't they also come out and say, okay, let's find a way to fix SDP, fix Labour, and fix other. We have 19 political parties in this nation. Come together and confront this monster now, APC, that have drawn us to this level we are. If really it's not on a selfish ground. If they are doing it individually, they will miss it.
Now that selfish ground is what we are saying now, because a lot of these people have their presidential ambition. Peter Obi has his presidential ambition now, doesn't want to wait. Atiku has this presidential ambition for a long time. Apparently, it has
since
not
2007
exactly, and if anything, the fire has not died down. So because I think that's what is wrong with ADC right now. A lot of these people that are coming into ADC have their own individual presidential ticket. So if they now come together, presidential ambition rather, if they now come together, who is that person that everybody, because one would have expected that when ADC came together on the coalition, they would have come under an agreement. Hey, who are we going to project in? Let's start the projection now. But it looks like that didn't happen, and it looks like Peter Obi, whom a lot of people thought was going to be the presidential candidate that every other person will rally around, it looks like that is not going to happen either.
Yes, those are some of the issues now.
And then sorry, sir. And then on the other hand, the PDP that you talking much about, they're even in a worse situation than every other party, considering the fact that they were the ruling party for 16 years and were projected to be the main opposition party. They are looking worse than Labour Party right now. They are looking worse than ADC
and even SDP
and even SDP. So it doesn't look like they can do anything between now and 2027. So ADC kind of look like, as bad as ADC is, kind of look like the opposition party with one bow leg and one K leg that can stand better than the PDP.
We are not disputing the fact that they may stand as an opposition, but what we are talking about, will they be able to clinch the presidential seat? Will they be able to become the ruling party in this nation? That's where they need to open up their flanks more to bring in more. Do you understand? If they you just made mention of, look at all the people that are parading themselves as the leaders of that ADC now. Amechi has his own presidential ambition. Obi has his own. Atiku has his own. El-Rufai has his own. And all others. How are they going to come out of these primaries that will not even tear this party apart during that primary? You know what happened in Nigeria? If you lose primaries, you say, oh, the man, it was the money bag that bought it, and as a result,
it was actually the PDP primary that have turned the party
that brought now. PDP to what it is now. You know, on 2019, the Atiku was accused of using money to buy that presidential ticket. In 2023 again, he used the same thing, he bought it. So at the end of the day, many of them that was what took Wike out, and all some of them that followed him. You remember the G5? He said, okay, This
even
is not
took Peter Obi out too.
Even Peter Obi has to go, and look at what Peter Obi did. Peter Obi went into Labour Party and was able to get 6,000 votes. You know. So
despite the short campaign period.
So at the end of the day, you discover that if they cannot manage this greed among them, that will even be one of the things that will tear the ADC when it is time for primaries. So that's why I'm looking at. They should have opened up the flank and let them even look at. No, this is not only about myself. I must be there. Let it be about Nigerians. Are they actually talking about you and I? Are they actually coming from you and I? Especially when we know where they are coming from. Who is there that we don't know? David Mark has been Senate president here for 8 years. What change did he make? He didn't make any change.
Well, when you now consider the other Senate president we've had, it looks like he did a good job.
No. We know that this present one we have. This one is monumental failure. But we are talking of the level, at least for a democratic system of government. What infrastructure? Today we still go abroad they still go abroad for medical checkup. Today we don't have good road. Today insecurity is slapping on our face. These are the things they were supposed to fix before now. Did they do any of them? Have they suddenly just woke up now to become the celebrated bride?
Now, be it as it's may, do you think Atiku under ADC can still give Tinubu a run for his money if they go into, because right now we don't know what will become of Peter Obi. It's quite silent. Some people have said it's strategic, but one thing is almost, let me use the emphasis on almost. One thing is almost for sure, he may most likely not clinch the ADC presidential ticket, if except by one miracle Atiku decide to say, okay, let's stand behind Peter Obi for ADC, which it's easier than an elephant passing through the eye of a needle.
Yeah.
So what if Peter Obi also decide to support Peter Obi, because some people have postulated that Peter Obi might probably run as vice president, although the obedient movement are torn.
That's another
the obedient movement are torn in that regard. Some half of been able to when I've said, look, they don't care if Atiku becomes the presidential ticket or not. All they want is someone to take APC and Tinubu out of seats. And they wouldn't mind if Peter Obi becomes the vice president. The other part of obedient movement, I'll say no, is either Peter Obi or not, because some of them have said what will become of an Obi if he becomes the vice president to Atiku will most likely what become of Yemi Osinbajo under Buhari administration. Osinbajo was known as a pastor, someone with integrity, but right now he's been roped under the dirty administration of Buhari, which have kind of all but killed his presidential ambition. And they were like, if Peter Obi becomes an Atiku presidency and an Atiku presidency become a monumental failure, that might kill Obi's chance of becoming president, by association. That's will be hung on him. But now let me allow you talk.
The political calculations, Solomon. If Obi goes in to become vice to Atiku Abubakar, if Atiku Abubakar eventually clinch the ticket of ADC, which is very likely,
most likely happen,
Obedient that formed the bulk of his supporters that gave him that vote in 2023 general election, they've made their remark that if Obi, they don't want Obi to become vice president, they want Obi to become presidential candidate. And Obi has always been saying that he will fly his ticket, but we don't know where he's going to, under what party. And he has even gone as far as telling Nigerians that he doesn't even mind even if it's one tenor. Remember the political calculation here, that we have 8 years in the south, 8 years in the north, 8 years in the south. So now this is supposed to be the 8 years for the southern part of Nigeria, which Tinubu has already gotten 4 years now, remaining the four years that is left. Are you telling me now that if Atiku gets the ticket for ADC, Nigerians, especially the northern people, will be so interested in supporting him to get to come in, knowing fully well that they are expecting to have a better 8 years after this administration leaves in 2021 than coming to alter it and have only 4 years. That's an issue. So if ADC wants to be sincere to themselves, they should have looked for a certain person to compete with.
Well, but there is no sincerity here right now.
There is no sincerity.
It's going to be an Atiku.
What is here is just like hijack. It's going to be hijack. So if that doesn't come up, it will alter this political calculation of 8 years in the north, 8 years in the south, irrespective of which part of the south you come from, which part of the north you comes from.
Yeah.
You understand? So we are not microzoning, but we are just talking of both north and south. So it will alter it. Don't you also think that may also
change the trajectory?
It will change trajectory, and it will also give
Tinubu.
Yes, this kind of what they call it, this kind of protest vote to Tinubu and say no. The south must have their own 8 years. We just saw Buhari ended 8 years of the north. So it might change it. That might change the trajectory. You understand what I'm saying? So there are so many political calculations around it.
But then we all know how strong the northern vote is in Nigeria. That is why be it as it may. I mean, if you're trying to do a north versus south calculation, we definitely know the south will lose that calculation when you consider even among the south there are no unity.
Yeah, it depends on also
because right now there's this rivalry between the southwest and the southeast.
No, the calculation here is that those who are actually eyeing that same position in 2031, we galvanize their brothers and sisters and say, come, let South have their own 8 years, because they know by 2031 when it is their own turn. Do you know that politicians are already gearing up now that want to contest this presidency for 2031 and say, yes, let it be that we have our own 8 years instead of 4 years, altering it, discrepantly. So those people that you think you have not heard their voice now, they will be there, they will educate their brothers and sisters and say, let these Satanans have their own 8 years. Let 8 years come to us, because they are also galvanizing to be part of that political calculation in 2031 to contest for that same presidency. So they will want to do their own education underground and their own advocacy underground and tell them, come, it's better we support the South to finish their own, because they know what they are aiming at towards 2031 when it gets back to them. That's also another filler into it.
Anyway, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how this goes. So many political calculations ongoing.
Yes, that makes it sweet.
Yeah, that makes it very interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis Elimehele.
Yes.
Public and political and public affairs analyst. It's always a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you, Solomon. Have a nice day.
And for a quick look at what's happening outside Nigeria, Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces RSF fighters are committing war crimes in the Darfur town of El Fasher. The rights group Amnesty International has alleged in a new report. The report, published on Tuesday, just hours after the RSF declared that it would immediately enter into a 3-month humanitarian truce in response to international efforts led by United States President Donald Trump. Sudan plunged into chaos in April 2023 when a power struggle between the military and the RSF exploded into open fighting in the capital Khartoum and elsewhere in the country. In its latest report, Amnesty said it had collected testimonies from 28 survivors describing atrocities in El Fasher, ranging from the summary execution of unarmed men to the rape of girls and women. The war in the Darfur region pits the regular forces of General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against the RSF, headed by its former right-hand man and ally Mohammed Daglo, since April 2023. At the end of October, the RSF seized El Fasher, the last major city in the vast western region of Darfur that had remained outside their control. Last week, United Nations Aid Chief Tom Fletcher said that El Fasher has been transformed into a crime scene, and said that those who committed these crimes must face justice. And finally on sport, Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane returns to North London on Wednesday to face old rivals Arsenal, arguably in the best form of his career after dropping into a deeper position. Always a consistent goal scorer, the England captain has become a more complete player at Bayern, shouldering more creative and defensive duties. The 32-year-old's form is a big reason for Bayern's remarkable start to the campaign. The German champions have won 17 and drawn one of the 18 games in all competitions this season, with Kane playing every match. Kane, who has scored 15 times in 21 matches against Arsenal, may be the key to unlock the Gunners' stingy defense. Mikel Arteta's side are the only team not to have considered in the Champions League this season. In the Premier League, Arsenal have shipped just 6 goals, the best record in England's and Europe's top 5 leagues. Kane is again producing incredible numbers this campaign, with 24 goals in 18 Bayern appearances and 5 from 5 for England. But Kane's weight of numbers only tells part of the story this season. Also willing to drop deep, Kane has often been deployed as a creative midfielder by Bayern coach Vincent Kompany, sitting behind either Nicolas Jackson and Serge Gnabry. Whether by design or necessity, Jamal Musiala has been out with a broken ankle since the Club World Cup. The move has not only unleashed Kane's game, but England captain is having fun. And just before we go, here again are the top stories. Southwest governors renewed call for state police and approve security fund. UN report says that terrorist attacks fuel record hunger in Nigeria's volatile north. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar officially joined ADC. ASU NEC to review for the government final terms Wednesday. On our foreign news, Amnesty International new report says Sudan's RSF committing war crimes in Darfur. And in sport, Kane releasing new Bayern role before Arsenal clash. And that's the world news at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon of Do follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.